How's it going? And today we are taking a look at the RTX 3060 12GB GPU, one of the most popular GPUs of 2023, one of the most used GPUs to a lot of PC gamers according to one of the infamous latest Steam hardware survey. So the question is, why is this GPU even intriguing to my eyes, even though it's not the best GPU in terms of performance nor the price? So this is what we are going to talk about. So if you like it, press on that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos of that kind. Let's get to it. Basically, this is a GPU right now that goes for around $250 used, or you can get it for around $300-ish, $280 brand new, because it can go on sale right now on Amazon. What goes for this GPU, that it's a decent 1080p GPU. It really ticks all the boxes. Pretty much when it comes to the GPUs ranging from $150 to $300 brand new or used, you cannot say at any GPU that this is a bad option. You can just say that there is a better option. I really have a hard time saying that this is a bad GPU for the price, even because it's got its people and it's got its reasons. So yeah, it's a pretty healthy market, that price range, and that's why I'm having a hard time saying this is a bad GPU. I'm having a hard time recommending other GPUs. When you compare it to the brand new GPUs from NVIDIA, let's just talk about, Apple's comparison in terms of brand name. You are looking at the RTX 4060. So the RTX 4060 is a brand new GPU that's an 8GB GPU. So when it comes to the performance, it was a bit underwhelming at launch. We are looking at around the same performance of a 3060 at some titles where really VRAM doesn't make that much difference. But there are some other titles where VRAM does make difference. The RTX 3060 is still superior. So keep in mind, this is a sub-$350 GPU that's supposed to replace the 3060 in terms of performance. In terms of brand in general, this is the successor. So yeah, there is that compared to the underwhelming RTX 4060, and this is what NVIDIA are bringing to the table right now. It's kind of bad, to be honest, when you compare it and you don't see that much performance bump. We're looking at around 2 years difference or 1.5 years difference. So how about the older gen GPUs? We are looking at the RTX 2060 Super. You can get this GPU for $160 from AliExpress, which is around $100 different. Yeah, it's an 8GB GPU with 3060-12, and this is the only difference, really. But yeah, it's not that marketed that much for a brand new standpoint compared to the 3060. This is still a used GPU. So there's a reason there why the 3060 is more selling than the 2060 Super. And NVIDIA have tried and have seen that. They dropped the 3060 8GB version, and it's a really bad cut down version of the 3060 12 gigs. It doesn't bring the same performance, raw performance, not with VRAM aside. So yeah, while NVIDIA tried to fix that, they really have actually made it more premium to some people, and it wasn't convincing enough. There's that when you compare the brand new GPUs, but when you compare the biggest elephant in the room, this is an obvious answer to me at least, the RX 6700 XT. This is a GPU that you can get for $300. It's a 12GB GPU and it performs like a beast. With ray tracing turned on, the RTX 3060 is being outperformed by this GPU at some titles. But when we're looking at raw performance, we are looking at around 30 to 40% difference. But let's just take a quick look at performance of the RTX 3060 alone in gaming. For example, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and this is a really bad port / demanding game, and you can still get 60 FPS, maybe medium to low settings, you'll be able to do that, but it's still there. Another bad port, The Last of Us Part 1, with 1080p medium to low settings, you'd find yourself hovering around 60 FPS too, but again, as I said, this is a bad port. Starfield, one of the brand new most demanding games, you'll find yourself at 1080p medium to low with FSR turned on or DLSS, whatever you find. You'd get around 45 to 50 frames per second, and I'd say that's pretty decent because these are some pretty high-end, pretty demanding games that even the highest end GPUs are struggling to run it at 1440p 60 frames per second at native. So you gotta keep that in mind, that this is not bad results at all. I'm just showing you how high when it comes to demanding games it can get and what type of performance you're getting. You look at other titles like, for example, Cyberpunk 2077, which is still a demanding game. At 1080p ultra settings, you'd find yourself getting 60 frames per second. You can turn on ray tracing and still get decent FPS because this is more of an NVIDIA title, and ray tracing really does justice to NVIDIA. Look at Call of Duty Warzone, for example, the brand new Warzone 3, people call it that way. You are getting 120 to 140 FPS, but this is a CPU intensive game and we are testing with the 5800X3D. The last game we're looking at is Fortnite, and at 1080p performance settings, this is still a CPU intensive game, but the GPU doesn't hold you back, and you can get around 300 to 400 FPS at some places with 1080p performance. So the question is the RTX 3060, was it ever worth it? Is it still worth it? These are the questions. Was it ever worth it? Well, for 300 to 350 bucks brand new at the time, it didn't make any sense to me. But for an NVIDIA standpoint, user, the guy who had the GTX 1070 and wanted to upgrade to an NVIDIA GPU, of course, it makes all the sense in the world because there isn't anything else. But for a gamer who has the 6700 XT and a 3060 in shelf and he's having some troubles, I guess, yeah, if you went with a 3060, it's kind of a mistake. But NVIDIA GPUs have really great resale value, as I told you. It goes for that it's one of the more popular brands. But now, is it really worth it to get it for sub 250 bucks? Well, I cannot say no to you, but no, it's not the best option, but it's the most reliable, the easiest answer for any brand new PC user who wants to get a gaming PC. And if there's anyone who paid 600 bucks for a PC with a 3060, you can never say that he went wrong, and this is why. So I am going to say the 3060 is here to stay because it's pretty much not the best at anything, but it's got everything in it. It's 12 gigs of VRAM, really decent performance, and NVIDIA GPU that's still supported, still on shelves, brand new. It goes on sale even, so it goes for it. But when you are looking at performance standpoint for someone who's not an NVIDIA user, who actually wants the best value for money GPU out there, I guess, yeah, you should rethink of the options that you have. And let me just throw that at you, even though with all the risks involved, some GPUs like the RX 5700 for 120 bucks to 130 bucks from AliExpress has the same performance of the 3060 raw. But as I told you, it doesn't have CUDA acceleration and it's not good for content creators. But if you're only doing 1080p gaming and you want the best value out there, these are the options that you are kind of, being surrounded with. But all in all, with that said, even though how really fierce and how really good the competition is in that territory, brand new or used, the 3060 is here to stay. So yeah, that's been it. If you like the video, press on that like button and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.